Welcome to Chairman's Corner. I'm pcounts Public Information Officer for Caldwell County. Joining me today is Board of Commissioners Chairman Randy Church. Welcome, Randy.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
Randy, you came to us with an idea, I guess Monday night, probably something you've been thinking about for a while though,
Right.
about to sit down with us after meetings and just kind of go over some of the things that you talked about and some of the decisions made. So that's what we're going to do today.
Right. And it is an idea that we kind of have thought about. I think we've done a little bit of it pre-COVID, where we were trying to talk about the commissioners' meetings, but I did want to get back to doing that and giving people an opportunity to understand why we may reach a decision that we do during a meeting.
And this meeting, you really didn't make a lot. You kind of made a lot of decisions on the consent agenda, but there were a lot of action items other than the consent agenda. Can you just briefly explain the difference between a decision item on the agenda and a consent agenda item?
Well, typically a decision item is that one that we're getting the information from the public or either the participant that's coming in, whether that's a public hearing or something of that nature where we're getting additional information. And then it gives us an opportunity as a commission board to discuss that and to speak with one another, get each other's ideas during that meeting before we ever call a vote for that particular item. And it's usually a pretty important decision when we do have the item for a decision as opposed to a consent. Consent's generally something that's maybe in the normal realm of operations of the county. It's some I won't say a minute part, but it's just something that's kind of a given. If there's flow-through money that's coming from the state that the health department's going to spend in the WIC program, as an example, it's money that the state sent the county is going to disperse that right through the health department. There's no need for us to have that as an item for decision, and we just typically move those items to the consent agenda.
And as someone who attends the majority of commissioners' meetings, I appreciate the consent agenda because there are some times when you see something and there could be a long discussion over something that you know you're going to approve. So
that's
one way to keep the meeting moving.
Right, and we do want to keep the meetings moving. I mean, we certainly get into some long meetings, and if we have a lot of public hearings or various things going on, that ties up a lot of time. And for the commissioners, it's okay for us, but a lot of people don't think about this, but the outside staff it's already been here all day, as yourself and our folks that's running the video stuff with Eric and different ones, as well as the county manager, our county clerk, all the department heads. And so when people come, they're in their extended part of the day, and we try to keep and minimize from doing that as much as possible for them.
Okay, let's talk about Monday night's meeting. You started with a presentation on naming Love Mountain. Can you give us a little background on that?
So we had a gentleman that purchased some property in the northern end of Caldwell County. Helms Logging was the name of the group that owned the property, but he came and made a presentation. He'd purchased the property in April, and he is trying to get a peak on his property named Love Mountain. And so he was basically making a presentation to the county because the U.S. Geological Society is the one that actually names the peaks within a certain geographical area, and certainly in Caldwell County. And so he was asking us to give him leeway and opportunity to make that presentation, and if there was anybody that had any negative dissent about it or positive, that we could make those comments and pass that along. And so we did, and basically give him that opportunity, and he spoke to why he wanted to name it that. And he's got two daughters that their middle names were Love, and so just that and the love of the mountains that he said. And so we wished him well in his endeavors as he left to go back to Mint Hill.
And that's not something you see very often.
No, I'd said this to my fellow commissioners. I've been on the board for 10 years now, and I've never been asked to be a part of naming a mountain. We certainly get requests for road names. We get requests for various ordinances and things that we have to act on, but we don't have any standing in naming mountains in the county. And and that was one thing too, as a commission board, we didn't want to set a precedent one way or the other because it's not up to us. It's up to a federal agency to do that. So, and I'm glad. It's less of a decision on our part.
Yes, I would think
Yeah.
so. The second thing on the agenda was honoring retirees.
Yes.
That's an important thing to do.
It is, and especially when we have folks that have spent so many years for our county and working for the county. And I think we had one lady that was from the library, 37 years service. I mean, it's just unheard of, and especially that amount of time that they commit to having that one career, one job. And so it just gave us an opportunity to certainly congratulate those folks. We tried to talk a couple of them into staying while we're in the meeting, and but they've always got a home to come back to if they just get home and decide that retirement's not for them. Most people don't do that, but we certainly want them to have that opportunity. But we do appreciate the service that people do for our county and our citizens.
And I think we did some quick math that it was over 150 years of service that, in this case, they were all ladies, so that these ladies had provided.
Yeah, and we typically see that in the month of December. People aim to get their retirement, and by the first of the year, they want to be able to be home and doing the things that they want to do in the retirement years. So, and so we have that a lot in December and recognition in January.
So, and I believe you recognize 5.
I think that's right.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So it was a large group.
It was a large group, but it was fun to see families, friends come and support those.
Right. Yeah.
All those folks.
So, just to go over some of the things in the consent agenda, some of those flow through monies, but the ambulance purchase, again, we're using funding through the ARPA money to be able to do that, and which has been a huge benefit for Caldwell County. And I don't think people realize how much that has assisted us to be able to do some purchases of some major equipment. Because a typical ambulance is, $500,000, give or take, time you outfit it and get those in service. So. But we were able to complete the purchase on that. We're purchasing some office equipment for our new Restart program. That's a program that's being funded through the opioid addiction money. And we've got folks that are now in those positions. We're providing them office space. We're trying to buy some furniture, as well as use some of the furniture that we have within the county. County is as big as we are. Sometimes we have an additional furniture sitting around and people aren't using particular places, so we're moving some of that, but we wanted our folks to be able to have opportunity to get some chairs and be able to work and to do the things they need to do.
There's something about having a new office chair that's just very rewarding. I mean, when you sit at a desk as much as I do, having that comfortable office chair is very important.
Well, and two, we're trying to move, and you may be familiar with this, the ergonomics of office and the ability for somebody to be able to stand now, which is a new concept for me, but I know a lot of our folks are doing that, and so we're very happy to be able to provide that and just keeping a good work environment for folks. Because it is pretty arduous sometimes sitting all day.
Sitting all day, it is. So.
And then we had a metal detector that I don't know how many people remember. We had a power outage and a surge within the city, and that power outage caused some surging, and it knocked our metal detector out at the courthouse. So we were able to purchase another one of those, and which is a very important piece of equipment there. Everybody that comes into the courthouse has to go through the metal detector, so we're making sure there's not anything getting inside the facility there that could be a danger. So our sheriff's office, we purchased some additional undercover equipment for our narcotics officers, and they have a very important role, and we try to support them and getting the drugs off the street. Our sheriff's been very proactive in that, and so we're happy to be able to support that. And again, that's some of the flow-through money that's coming through in different funds that he is available and has available to him. So, but I think some night vision goggles and various things they were able to purchase for that particular process. So we're happy to do that. Then we had some donated funds that came through in our new animal shelter. And so those folks are able to use that donated funds, going to purchase some grooming equipment. A lot of times when animals arrive at the shelter, they need to be bathed, and then we're doing different treatments with worming and various things there. So it allows our folks there to be able to groom and do that thing as well with our animals.
And in the new facility that's opening very soon, we have a grooming room.
Yep.
And a person trained to be a groomer. So it's all very exciting.
It is very exciting, and most people that have pets take their pets to their veterinarians and veterinary clinics, and so our animal shelter is going to be state of the art, just as any other veterinarian clinic that there is. So we're trying to provide that and do what the state mandates us to do, and that's oftentimes something that we think about, that we're trying to do a good job. But the state often mandates the county what we have to do and how we have to do that. And so that gives us an opportunity to make sure that the animals are being taken care of properly.
I know a lot of times when it comes budget time, commissioners are criticized because of what the public considers decisions the commissioners make, but really they're being mandated how to spend money from the state. So
That's right.
You really aren't making a decision, you're just following orders from the state.
And we often joke about it, I guess, but the state is here to help you, we often say, but in many times they're here to help the citizens and making sure the county's doing what it's supposed to, whether it's through animal control, DSS, our detention facility. I mean, all of that is governed by state guidelines, as well as our health department. So a lot of things that we're doing state mandated. And so, but we do get the brunt of carrying that out.
You do, and a lot of times I'm like, but the state says we have to do this. So it's just something to consider, and just a point I wanted to clarify for education of our public.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. So we also had some other changes there at the animal shelter, and so we approved a change order. We're trying to get some different things done within the painting and the paint scheme and various things. So we're nearing the completion of the end of that project, and we'll hit that in a minute when we get to the end. But some additional budget revisions for the family planning and health department clinic. Again, that's some of that state flow-through money that's coming in. So we just pass that through to the health department, and they do a really good job in budgeting and their end of it and putting that money where it needs to be. GIS cloud hosting, we've used some ARPA funding. Our system in the county had been pretty antiquated with our GIS, the mapping, the things that we've been doing there, as well as our email system. So we've made a huge leap in technology within the county.
And I want to just go ahead and say thank you for that, because now I can get this is a good and bad thing, I can get my email anywhere.
Right.
And I appreciate that, because I never know when something's going to pop up. But I can be at home, I can be across the country, and I'm still getting my email.
Well, and that's a very important part too. A lot of people don't realize that county employees as a whole are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and a lot of things never stop moving here. And just like you and your public information role, some major incident happens, a major fire, major water outage, major cold snap like we had a couple weeks ago, you have to be available to be able to make those public comments and public announcements and getting the message out to the folks so they know what's going on.
And it's not me. I have a good team of folks around me, and that to me is what it's all about.
Well, and it is, and we've got a great team in the county, but we got to be able to get a hold of that team.
That's right, and that email, and we've got some more computer technology changes.
Right.
Chris will fuss at me for saying computer changes because that makes it sound very simple.
Yeah.
Coming soon, so just ways to better serve our people.
Well, and part of that is security, and we know that we've had some security breaches in the past with our email system and various things, so we're trying to get a better handle on that. And most people hear about counties being taken over in their computer system and being held hostage, if you will. So we're on the front end of that, trying to get that stopped before we ever get in that position. So,
and not only with firewalls, but with training county employees. So and
I took the training myself. I mean, we, as a commissioner, we are in our email system, and I had to go through the training as well. So it was very enlightening.
It has been.
Yeah. So another big thing that we did, though, we made our second installment of the premium pay for the 2023 year, and that's a benefit to our employees, and we're certainly happy to be able to do that. That came again through the ARPA funding, but that funding is now ceased as far as that, unless the state funds it again. But you know, during COVID and the times. During that whole process, our employees weren't able to work from home. We weren't able to do a lot of things that some of the private sector folks could, and we required our employees to come and be here, and certainly our EMS continued to function, law enforcement continued to function, and every function within the county did. So this was one way that we could show our appreciation for our employees.
And as a county employee, thank you. It came to us at a very good time.
Yeah, and it's always, we've aimed at that for the last couple of years to do it in the month of January because it's such a long time span on a monthly pay plan that we have as county employees. So,
and I think as you're talking about this, it's another time to say, a lot of people talk about county jobs and good, bad. The commissioners are really taking care of the county employees.
Yeah.
They've taken steps. I've noticed it really in the last couple of years, but to be very supportive, to work on pay, to work on merit pay, and as an employee, I appreciate that.
Right.
As a supervisor, I appreciate it even more because I know I can bump my employees up a little bit.
Right. Well, and it's about retention in this society that we're in right now in the work environment, and we have often been referred to sometimes as a training ground for some of the larger municipalities, larger counties that people could go to. So we feel like we're making great strides and efforts in trying to keep our folks here and keep them employed here. And with all the training that goes into the different roles and positions, it's just hard to see them walk away, and if we could pay a little more money or incentivize and at least just make our employees feel valued, and that's what we're after at the county.
And we appreciate it.
All right, and we approved a Scream half marathon. I think our manager said it pretty well. If I was running, or maybe Commissioner Potter, if I was running a half marathon, I'd probably be screaming the whole time too. And I thought that was pretty good statement. But we have to approve these special events because, again, some of these events require our personnel to be working and covering those. When we have a marathon going on a Saturday, there's got to be law enforcement involved, got to be EMS involved, and to cover all the aspects of potential hazard there. So, but we appreciate our folks being willing to do that. We had some flow-through money through the Blue Ridge Community Action Block Grant for some housing and the things that they target in our county. So again, that was a state flow through. We done an extension on our Project Einstein. This is a project that is an EDC project. We're trying to lure a new company into the town. We've got property that they have made an offer on purchasing from the county, But they're doing their due diligence on that, and they're doing some land survey and board and various things that they've got to have. So it's we had to extend that again so we can get them across the finish line, hopefully before long. And then just typical appointments of manager to our Lenore Rail Transload committee that we established many years ago, and I think with Donald Duncan, our new manager, we just have been able to get him appointed to that commission and that board. They still do meet on the railroad and the rail line that's coming in from Hickory area all the way up to the transload facility. So some exciting things going on there. Some upgrades potentially coming and various things. So we're excited about that rail line and what the potential may be there going forward. And it's good to have Donald there. And then we appointed Commissioner Wilkie to the Communities in School Board of Directors. So was happy that he's willing to go over there and serve with that group.
And I think it's important to point out that commissioners don't just serve on the Board of Commissioners.
Right.
You're serving, every commissioner has at least one, and most of you have multiple boards.
Multiple boards. And so with the Airport Authority and of course the EDC board, we also, the Health Department board, the Health Board I'm on. And so it's pretty involved to be on all the boards and to stay active within the community and certainly with our cities and towns that reside in the county. So we're pretty active on all that.
Right, it's not just a once a month meeting.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and speaking of a lot more, then we're down to the last thing, but we wanted to, I think, invite everybody on January the 21st to our new animal control or animal shelter facility. I'm still having to learn to call that the animal shelter, and but we are hosting that. It's on Saturday, and it begins at 10 a.m. There at our new animal shelter, and we'll have some speeches by some politicians, I guess, unfortunately. But we are going to showcase and show off our new animal shelter, and we're excited about that.
It'd be a good time to come and tour the building and see the new areas, because there's some, what I consider new concepts. I'm not an avid follower of animal shelters, but there's some things in it that we've never had before in Caldwell County. So.
Yeah, and we're excited. And again, the state mandates many things, but as I said during the meeting, I've been on the board 10 years, and the whole time I've been here, we've talked about animal shelter, and where our old facility there on Fairview Drive has been, it's been served us well, but it has served us for a long time, and we've had many issues there that we're eliminating now by building a new facility, and we've learned some hard lessons that will carry into this new facility, and so hopefully going forward we'll be able to accommodate those animals and the treatment and the humane side of it. And it is worth mentioning that we have a new staff there that has really been proactive, and a lot of animal adoptions are taking place, which has helped us to be able to not have to euthanize near as many. And so we're very happy about that and happy about what's going on there. So come meet the new staff and come see the new animal shelter. And it's one of those necessary things in our county, but it's a great thing that we've finally been able to accomplish.
It is a great thing, and I've been working pretty closely with the staff the last few weeks on the grand opening, and I will say they are a great team, and they really do. They care about the animals in the county, and they care about the people in the county. Right.
And we know that that they're doing a great job, and I just can't say enough good things about Richard and what the staff's doing there. So,
well, Randy, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and we again, hopefully going forward, I'll come in after each meeting and try to go through some items. I thought about this. You can always email me or a page. If you have a question you want us to answer during this time, we'd certainly address that. But you can find our emails at the county website. But I'm rchurch at Caldwell County, North Carolina, or caldwellcountync.org. So. And
I'm pcounts. So.
Yeah. And we would welcome the opportunity. If you got a specific question or something that you've heard about and want some clarification on, I'll be glad to try to address it. So
thank you for being here and for sharing with us.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Chairman's Corner.